From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper. It is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. It is Tuesday in LA, and hey, we are a few days away from Haney and Linares as well, too. I'll be out there this weekend for Memorial Day and things like that, partying up. Well, not too much partying, more working than anything. So pretty much I'm looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and jump into what happened in the NBA last night. We had ourselves some pretty good games last night in the league, where we had ourselves a very good performance from the Bucks. Actually, the Bucks actually killed it last night. They were able to have themselves a big time game, winning that game 132-98. So, but literally dominated the game from the first quarter on. They had a 46-20 lead. Didn't look back. No, there was no problem with, getting too comfortable or anything like that. They understand that when you're playing the Miami Heat, you better finish the job with them very early, because this team, if you let them stick around, they can find ways to beat you. So they almost got beat game one. They didn't let their foot off the gas this time around, so they were able to get a big win last night. Giannis was able to drop 31 points last night. Big effort from him. I think that pretty much that solidified some things for the Bucks confidence-wise, because now they're up 2-0. They can breathe a little bit. They can afford to lose a game in Miami. And, it's all good. They still hold serve with the home court as well. But Miami was just really bad yesterday. You got guys like Dwayne Dedmon as your leading scorer yesterday. That guy's a bench player, dude. Seriously. And that's how bad they were yesterday. Jimmy Butler did not have a game that I thought he would have. Jimmy Butler, 31 minutes, 10 points, 4-10 from the field, and he was 50% from the free throw line. But he didn't really do much yesterday, and you would expect Jimmy to do more. They got more effort from the guys on the bench last night. So, when you look at it, you got guys that you had 6 guys in double figures for the Bucks last night. 3 were starters, 3 were bench players. So they had a full-on team effort last night, and it looked really good. And you know what? A lot of us have went to sleep on the Bucks because they're 2 years of failures as the top seed overall in the NBA. So you know what? At the end of the day, we do got to kind of respect that authority a little bit. So pretty much with that, we'll move on to our next game, which was a pretty good one last night. Dame Lillard had himself a game in the first half. He actually dropped 42 points last night, but 32 of those points came in the first half as well, too. So they literally shut him down in the second half. It wasn't enough. Him and McCollum still went for 63 total, but they didn't get enough effort from the rest of their teammates. Norman Powell kicked in with 15 points. That was good, but these guys were just really off last night. Minus 24, minus 23 for McCallum and Powell, minus 16 for Lillard. So it just wasn't a good game for these guys. Lillard and McCallum combined for 8 turnovers last night as well, too. And if you add in Carmelo, that's 10. So pretty much this team just wasn't good last night. Carmelo only had 5 points in 20 minutes of gameplay. So it wasn't a good game for the Blazers at all yesterday. So at the end of the day, this team's going to have to look at themselves in the mirror and say to themselves, are we good enough? You know what I mean? Because the thing is, they're going to, they had a great game one, but they cannot overlook the spirit of the Nuggets. Honestly, the Nuggets are a team that rides high, and they are just, they balled last night. You had Jokic go 38, 8, 5 last night. Then you had Porter Jr. get 18. Gordon had 13. Campazzo, the hard luck point guard that they have, he was able to get 12 last night. And Paul Millsap and Monty Morris had themselves a game off the bench last night, combining for 27 points together. So that worked out very well. 6 players in double figures last night, so there was no issue with the Nuggets going wire to wire last night and winning this game. Now the series is even, and now the series has begun. So pretty much you'll see some good action on the Blazers tomorrow. They're going to be a -4 at home, but you know what? That could be some fool's gold. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and let's move on to our next topic in hand. And our next topic in hand, oh boy, it's going down. Manny Pacquiao set to fight Errol Spence in Las Vegas on August 21st. It's going to be the biggest fight of the summer. I know everybody thinks it's going to be Wilder Fury 3, but a lot of people already have their assumptions that probably Wilder is a little bit over the hill, but I don't think so. I think the old champ can go ahead and have his Rocky moment in that spot, but it's all about Pacquiao and man down. So pretty much a few years back, I was at Jerry's World, and these two met in the center ring right after Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia and actually had a landslide at Mikey Garcia. So now you got Manny Pacquiao, hasn't fought since July of 2019 when he beat Keith Thurman, a guy that many thought that was going to be able to knock Manny into retirement, but that thought was over about 45 seconds into the fight when Manny actually knocked down Keith Thurman, and that crowd was really loud that night. That was a crazy situation, crazy night, but it was a Manny event. I've been to 2 of Manny's fights, and they've been absolutely like rock star stuff. So you know what? This man is an absolute legend, 8th division champion as well too. So it's great for him to fight Errol Spence, a guy that most feel has been really, really good over the years, and probably the face of boxing at this point. And really, he's trying to fight the best of the best right now. And fighting Manny could be a great bridge if he's able to be successful, moving forward to actually say, I'm the man. But this is going to be a tough out because it's Manny's final fight. And Manny has that kind of, he's not like other fighters who were just pretty much done. Their brains are fried, you know what I mean? And they're chasing money, things of that nature. Manny's a politician. He's a senator, and he's running possibly future president of the Philippines as well too. So what this happens here, this is because Manny loves to box, and he knows that this is going to be box office, and he wants to give his fans one big more box office fight. And as a big Floyd Mayweather fan, I commend Manny Pacquiao for taking on the toughest challenge. He's not going to take on a guy who's just there because, he was talking a bunch of smack in the club to you for years. You know what I mean? You're fighting a guy that actually is making, could be crossing that bridge. In wrestling, it's called getting over. And you know what? When any of these guys who are superstars are about to be superstars in wrestling, they have to fight the greatest. They have to fight the best of the best. And, it all makes sense. But at the end of the day, Manny Pacquiao is a live dog in this fight. He has way more experience than Errol Spence. It doesn't matter how good Errol Spence is. I think that the focus has to be, pretty much trying to, execute a proper game plan against Manny Pacquiao. Because if you don't do that, then it's going to be trouble all night for you. And if that fight is close, I promise you that they'll give the decision to Manny Pacquiao. So there it is. You guys, there's going to be more on this fight as well too. In the coming months. So you guys make sure to follow up on that. And it's going to be fun. I can't wait. And I'm going to be following this fight very closely as well too. So you guys, we will be right back. But before that, you guys go ahead and check out hatclub.com, and you guys can go ahead and get yourself situated and get yourself looking good, get yourself all drippy, all that good stuff. And you guys can get 50% off. Not 50% off, but on any order that's $50 or better, you guys can go ahead and get 10% off. So once again, the link is in the show description. So any order that is $50 or better, you guys can go ahead and get 10% off. And Father's Day is right around the corner. So make sure you hook your daddy up and get himself some drip drop over here at the Hat Club. So with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper. And we have ourselves Blue Crew Daily. And today the Dodgers are matched up against the arch nemesis now, in a sense, for a lot of Dodger fans, and that's going to be the Houston Astros. And today we have two former teammates going at it as well, too, when you have Zach Greinke, former Dodger, and was a part of the Dodgers beginning of their dominant run over the last decade, it seems like. And he was the number 2 starter behind Mr. Kershaw. And you know what? Zach Greinke was probably the best number 2 starter, in my opinion, in the Kershaw era. They really complemented each other very well. But when it came down to the dollars and things of that nature, and actually certain players being on the team as well, too, I'm not going to mention any names, but Zach Greinke got fed up, moved on, and signed a monster deal, a ginormous deal with Arizona. But what he didn't know, though, that Arizona was about to go into the crap shooter somewhat, and kind of start rebuilding. And he kind of got stuck in the same situation that he got stuck in his early years when he was a part of the Padres. I mean, not the Padres, but the Royals organization, and when he was the Royals ace pitcher as well, too. So he was able to luck up and be sent over to Houston and play in the World Series in 2019 against the Nats. So, Zach Greinke was able to get all the way back and get himself to a World Series as well, too. But he's a well-traveled as well. So, Royals, Angels, Brewers, Dodgers, D-backs, Astros. So, this is a guy that is always worth the money. And, pretty much he's going to have a solid effort tonight. And him and Kershaw coming here almost identical. They're older pitchers now. They're not kids anymore. And, pretty much they're either going to be really good tonight or they're going to be really bad tonight. That's how it goes with older pitchers in the major leagues, because you know what? A lot of these guys saving their best for the playoffs. You know what I mean? And, Houston could be a playoff team as well, too. But at the end of the day, pretty much the Dodgers, it's the Dodgers world. And they're going to have to really, keep their foot on the gas. The Dodgers right now, winners of their last 10 out of 11, 7 in a row as well, too. Had an awesome visit to San Francisco. They were able to take care of their business, get a sweep there as well. So this is looking really good for a team that was really, lost in the ocean about 4 weeks ago. But now the Dodgers have figured it out. They're playing really good baseball. But as I said before, as you guys can see, other than playing against the Astros, they're going to play a 4-game set against the Giants in LA this week. So that means that literally maybe about 11 of their last 13 games have been against teams in the division. And I told you guys, once division play opened up, the Dodgers were going to start opening up the division a little bit. You know what I mean? They got stuck with the Padres early, in some pretty good games and things like that. They lucked up and had the Rockies in 2 series within the first 2 weeks of the season as well, too. So I think that the Dodgers, they come into this one, they always are thinking about beating the Astros. They really do not like this team at all. And the Astros really don't like them. So, it all makes perfect sense. in this situation as well too. So, pretty much we all just have to get ourselves prepared for a very, very good game, in my opinion, today with these squads. And I think that it will work out very well for everybody who's included here. And I think this is going to be one of those games where you'll probably get an underscore or something of that nature, but this is going to be a really good game. And I want to see what Gavin Lux has in store for us tonight. He's been getting his little web gems and everything like that, hitting grand slams, and he's really living up to the billing that he was receiving when he was in the minor leagues. A lot of people thought that maybe he could have been an overhype. He would be a great asset moving forward. But now you see why the Dodgers have not traded this kid at all. The Dodgers have had fielded many offers about Gavin Lux, and he was always considered untouchable. So this kid is living the dream right now, and he's doing his thing, and he's doing well at the shortstop position. It doesn't look like a big void without, the star Corey Seager. So the Dodgers looking good tonight. Hopefully they can go ahead and continue the 7-game winning streak and continue their tear through the month of May as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that is Blue Crew Daily for you. So you know what time it is. It's time for us to jump into the MLB Tuesday games, and we have ourselves a really good one here with the Blue Jays and the Yankees. The Blue Jays coming into this game plus 145 on the money line, and then you also have a Yankees team coming here minus 175, over under of 9.5 here as well too. The Yankees coming in here ready to get themselves, ready for the summer. You know what I mean? Boys of summer. That's what the whole thing is. Yankees have been, a middling team somewhat, but they are right there in the thick of things now. And I like having Corey Kluber on the mound tonight. I think Corey Kluber is going to be a dominant force for the Yankees because he's very confident after throwing a no-hitter in Arlington last week. So he's going to come to the stadium, get a standing ovation, and he should have a really good game tonight. And you know what? Even though the Blue Jays have the best hitter in baseball, Vlad Jr., it doesn't really matter when your team can't pitch. And we saw over the weekend that the Blue Jays don't have any pitching, really. Their pitching on the back end is horrendous. They had 2 blown games 2 days in a row, and that's just an absolute shame, to be honest with you. So, you say, well, they could probably bounce back here in New York. I don't know. They look like they got some tired pitchers, and I think that the Yankees actually are going to be able to cruise today and get themselves a very good win. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes, but I really do feel the Yankees today, and I think that they should have a big shot at winning this game and winning this game by more than 2 runs or better. Okay, so with that, we move on to our next game, and our next game is going to be the Braves and the Red Sox. And fun fact, the Atlanta Braves started their run in Major League Baseball in the city of Boston. They were the rivals to the Boston Red Sox in a sense on who's going to be able to stick around in town. And the Boston Red Sox won that. They won that situation, you know what I mean? Because Boston has been there now. It's 100 years or so since the Braves left, you know what I mean? So that's crazy. If you guys never knew that, the Braves did start off in Boston. So it's crazy. So it's always fun to see the Braves and the Red Sox go at it. It's kind of like an old family reunion. The neighbor that moved when you were a kid, but it's all good. He comes back around sometimes, you know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes tonight. But I think that the Braves should be a really good play for bettors tonight. I think that the Braves have a lot going in the right direction right now. Their hitters are hitting much better. Their pitchers are pitching much better. They got Charlie Morton on the mound, a very trusted veteran. Charlie's doesn't have the greatest ERA in the world, 4.60, but he's striking out a lot of guys this year. And you know what? He's making sure that he's keeping things tame there for the Braves as well. And he had a good outing last time out, 8 strikeouts against the Mets, only gave 2 hits and 1 run. So I do expect a good game coming from Charlie Morton because he bounced back from, a 7-hit 3-run game from the Blue Jays. So him coming back and doing what he did against the Mets last time out, I think this will be a good barometer for what we can get tonight. Garrett Richards is kind of a shaky pitcher, but he's having a much better season than he's had in years. But he did give up 7 hits last time out, 5 Ks, gave up 2 runs as well too, but walked 4. So he didn't struggle, but he didn't have the type of game that he would want to remember. So I truly do think that this is split right down the middle. And I think what happens here is that you wind up getting yourself in a position to pick a winner here. And I think the Braves will have just enough to go ahead and get a big win today. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. We'll move forward to the Reds at the Nats. And the Reds at the Nats is an intriguing game because you have the Nats being kind of a wide favorite today. The Nats coming in at minus 185 today on the spread. On the money line. And then you have the Reds plus 150. Tyler Mahle is back on the mound again, and he got absolutely crushed last week against San Francisco. He only lasted 2 innings in that game. And then he's going against savvy vet Max Scherzer. You know what I mean? Scherzer is always auto bet for a lot of bettors, and that's why you see the minus 185. But can he get some run support today? That's my biggest question. But his ERA is looking really good, 2.24 this season. He has 76 strikeouts, over 12 walks. So, he still his little dominant self and everything like that. But I tell myself, I think the Nats could be possibly thinking about maybe moving Scherzer if they're not in contention to be in the playoffs. And I know that they could get a lot of suitors when it comes down to the last day of August, when it is time for the trades to happen because it's a deadline that day. So I think that possibly he could be the hottest commodity on the trade market if Washington decides to trade him, because he's still a pitcher that has a lot of juice left in him. Come on. When he played against the Yankees back on the 8th of May, he struck out 14, struck out 7 against the Diamondbacks in his next outing, and then he struck out 8 against the Cubs. So he's been really good, 29 strikeouts in his last 3 in total in his last 3 games. So be ready for a game that will catch a lot of us by surprise. But I think what happens here, I know there's a lot of times where Max Scherzer games go under, but I think this game will wind up going over today because, Tyler Mahle, the game he had against the Giants might be an indicator of what's to come tonight, because sometimes pitchers just don't snap right back after a performance like his. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward to our next game, which is going to be the Rockies and the Mets. It's not going to be the Rockies. It's going to be the Royals at the Rays. Sorry about that. As you guys can see, my guy put in the Rockies and not the Royals. So pretty much it is the Royals plus 155. The Rays are coming in here minus 190. I think that the Kansas City's getting a little overlooked today. I think that what happens here is that we could possibly get a closer game than it looks on paper. And I feel like we can't get ourselves right here in the mix of things. And if anything, the Royals lose by 1. You got Brad Keller on the mound, who's not a bad pitcher. I know the ERA doesn't look really good at all. He's given up about 17 runs in his last 3 games as well, too. But I think that tonight a lot of people are going to overbet this Rays team. And I know Rich Hill is a pretty good pitcher, but I know Rich Hill walks a lot of people as well, too. But he's having a good season this year, 45 strikeouts, over 17 walks. But I think that the Royals are going to be real game tonight against the Rays. So I'm going to see how this one goes, see how it shakes out. And I do really like where we're going here. So plus 155 on the Royals, that's a good value, but I think the spread will be much better. You're going to be putting up minus 105 on that portion. All right, we move on to the Orioles at the Twins. The Orioles coming in here plus 165, while the Twins are minus 200. Over under 9.5 today. The Orioles were a client play last night, and they absolutely got crushed. I had them at plus 155 on the spread, and they absolutely didn't show up. And they had a pitcher that just threw a no-hitter a few weeks back. So you know what? I kind of got a little overzealous with a team that's still going to be a bad team in the MLB. And, the Twins are supposed to be a good team, and I just think that possibly they're off to a slow start. So pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. And thank you for going ahead and confirming that for me. I did see that plus 180 had just touched down on the Royals as well too. Thank you, Viva, for going ahead and reminding all the people that it is at plus 180. So you are getting big value on the dog bet today as well, but you'll probably be getting plus money on the spread. So why don't you, pretty much the thing is that we can try to get things situated and stuff like that in this spot today, but I really do feel like you got to play the over-under here. You got Jose Barrios on the mound for the Twins, so you know that it's going to be a lot of spread bettors on the Twins today after what they did to the Orioles yesterday, but that could be a smoke screen as well, too, so you have to get yourself prepared and put yourself in the right position. I think that this game is more of a scoreboard watching game than anything, so that's what I'm looking at to invest here, and I think that's what we're going to cash in on. So let's see how it goes, and we move forward to our next game. It's going to be a good old NL West rivalry game, and it's, well, somewhat of a rivalry game. You have the Giants coming in here minus 165 going against the D-backs, who are absolutely dreadful right now, plus 140. And the Giants coming here pretty much with a bad taste in their mouth. You know, they got swept over the weekend. Now they have Kevin Gausman on the mound, former Oriole. You know, he was the only thing the Orioles had going a few years back, and he wound up getting to the Braves and doing a pretty good job with them. But he's absolutely exceptional here in San Francisco. 1.66 ERA, 67 strikeouts, over 14 walks. Their best pitcher going on the mound tonight, going against Corbin Martin, who's has a ERA of plus 5.40, and that was his first outing in it. Guess what? It was against the Dodgers as well, too. So he's getting the start tonight. I know a lot of people are looking at that first performance, but come on, you were going against the Dodgers. It's a different offense from the Giants. So you know what? I say don't oversell this thing on the Giants, but I think it's okay to pay a little bit of insurance and play the heavy money line as well too. But I just say to bettors, though, don't go crazy. Don't put the rent on it, okay? Don't put the house on it. Just put a nice little bet on there that will come back to you, because you are juicing here. And when I say you're juicing, it means that you're paying for the juice insurance clause to get yourself a win. You know, when you just betting the money line, the plus money, you just risking. So if you lose your 100, you lose your 100. But if you lose 165, you're going to be a little bit more mad because you've put that extra juice, that extra insurance payment on there with the idea that you're going to cash that ticket. So, you know, you got to figure this thing out, figure it out very early, or at least 5 minutes before the first pitch. So with that, you guys go ahead and check out Paramount Plus. Absolutely awesome app that does have a lot of different options for you. You have yourself an opportunity to watch all the NCAA tournament games on here. You also have the opportunity to watch anything that CBS has had over the last 20, 30 years, and also any movie that Paramount's made over the last 25, 30 years as well, too. So there's a lot of things here that you guys can take advantage of. So check it on out, Paramount Plus. Use the promo code VSX. And with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, nothing better than that Fiji water. So here we are, back at it, and I'm manning both the show and the ticker and all that good stuff. So don't mind me if things are on a little bit of a pause, but let's go ahead and get into the state of the Lakers. The state of the Lakers. All right. Tonight is a big night for the Lakers because they need to win this game. Simple and plain. But at the end of the day, it ain't going to be a death sentence if they don't. Okay. All you Laker fanatics, all you guys just relax. Take it one day at a time. Breathe, as I like to say. Because you have to understand the Lakers have a lot of experience on their side. You have AD, who possibly could have been an MVP for years in New Orleans. LeBron, four-time MVP, who's coming back from one of the more severe injuries he's had ever in his career. So the thing is, I say that tonight the Lakers will be motivated because they watched the tape. They saw how poorly they played as well, too, and they should be able to step it up tonight in Laker fashion and get themselves a good win. Last year, they had the same type of game against Portland where Portland was in the game the whole time and then just beat them at the end. This time, and you know what? They were in a bubble. This time around, they're in Phoenix as a 7 seed, but Phoenix, we all know this is a series that's in reverse. At the end of the day, if the Lakers play the way that they're supposed to play, Phoenix most likely is a 6-7 seed because they don't, I don't know if the momentum works out the same way. Well, they could possibly be a 3rd seed. But at the end of the day, you know that you would expect the Lakers to have home court advantage here, but it isn't like that. That's not this series. The Lakers have to really go ahead and put themselves behind the 8 ball early and try to get this one. They have to get on the Suns very early. They got to take their spirit away, and they got to figure out a way where they're already up 25, 30 points by the 4th quarter so LeBron can go ahead and sit out that quarter, because with more rest, the better LeBron's going to get. LeBron still looks very dominant, but he looks like he's taking his time, which is okay. Nothing is wrong with that. But you can't be taking too much more time because we're in the playoffs right now, and we need you to step it up. But AD needs to be better than 13 points, okay? That's very simple. That he needs to be better than 13 points. Schroeder needs to have better selection. I think that Schroeder hesitates sometimes when he has a opening for a layup, and then when he doesn't have an opening for a layup, he still tries to go take the ball to the bucket, hunting for fouls, just like Mayor de Blasio said about Trae Young this morning. But all in all, that's okay to do that, but I think that you have to make better decisions, and that's very simple. And I think Schroeder is feeling a little bit of the pressure as being seen as the 3rd wheel to the big 3. And he shouldn't see it like that. He should just see it as that he's the Lakers starting point guard, and they need him to be the difference when AD and LeBron are struggling. And I think if you get a big effort from Schroeder tonight, you'll be able to get a big effort from Anthony Davis tonight. As usual, I'm not worried about the King. Seriously. Why would I have to worry about a guy that you ain't never had to worry about in his whole almost 25, 30, 26-year basketball career? I'm including when he was a kid too. So at the end of the day, when you got LeBron, you're in a good place. But that means absolutely nothing at the end of the day if you don't get the win. Okay, so the Lakers need a full team effort because they're going to get effort from their stars. They need people not to spectate tonight, and they need people to step it up. And somebody stick Devin Booker. And DeAndre Ayton, yeah, you had a hell of a game the other night. We're going to need Andre Drummond not to be scared to foul out the game, okay? He's going to have to get really physical with Ayton tonight to protect AD from that physicality tonight. And that's exactly what I see as the keys to victory for the Lakers. They have to go ahead and be the physical team, and they have to go ahead and start early and finish strong. That's all I'm asking for tonight, okay? Lakers, 7 o'clock tonight against the Suns. Hopefully you guys are watching it on the real Laker network, Spectrum, with Billy Mack and Stu Lance, because that's what network I'm going to be watching tonight. So let's go ahead, see how it shakes out, see how it goes. And that's the Lake Show, and that's the state of the Lakers for you. All right, we move on to the first game of the afternoon in the playoffs. This is going to be game 2 between the Celtics and the Nets. The Nets are over here feeling real good about themselves right now after getting themselves a great win over Boston and in a comeback effort as well, too. Boston had a good lead at the half, got a little complacent, and then they got steamrolled by this Brooklyn team. So now Boston's trying to bounce back from that effort. They're a plus 350 dog tonight. You got the Nets, who are minus 450 on the money line tonight. 9.5-point spread, under over 227.5. Everything is saying that the Nets should roll, but I don't know about all that because you have a guy in Kemba Walker who's a New York City royalty. He might want to go ahead and have a game tonight in Barclays. And then you have Jason Tatum, who's a superstar on the brink, and he should have a huge effort. But they really need a lot from Marcus Smart tonight. That's all I can say is that Marcus Smart needs to be their best player on the floor to even have a chance tonight. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. You got Brooklyn sitting over here very confident about their performance and what they're doing and things of that nature. And I really do feel that, when it comes down to it, that this game will be much closer than it looks on paper. These guys are there. At the end of the day, these guys play each other 4 times a year. So they know each other very well. And this was supposed to be a better matchup if Boston is fully loaded, and they're not. They don't have Jaylen Brown, who I feel is the best player on the team. And this is going to be key to the series, but I think that Boston still can sneak out a victory, but can they sneak out a victory on the road? I know they won't have an issue winning the game, at least one game in Boston, because I don't see the Celtics getting swept. So this is going to be a good game tonight because a lot of people are probably putting a lot of their eggs behind the Nets with the idea that the Nets should blow out the Celtics, but it just doesn't work like that. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. The +9 looks much better to me, +9.5, and that's where I'm going in this game as well, too. So there it is, Celtics at the Nets tonight, and I look forward to a really, really good game. All right, so we move on to our next game of the night, and it's going to be the Mavs +240 at the Clippers, who are -170, but the Clippers are a minus. The Clippers, I'll get it for you right now. The Clippers are going to be in good shape tonight when it comes down to it, and you can see that the Clippers on money line tonight are going to be. I'm checking Vegas Insider. They're going to be -260 tonight. So they are chalky, but you know what? It is doable as well, too. So pretty much this one right here, to me, comes down to who wants it more. And I think that the Clippers will figure out a way to just actually run away with this game today. And I know Clipper fans are going to rejoice because I never talk about their team and really never talk about them in a highlight, in a positive form. And it's not because I'm a Laker fan or anything like that. I just feel like they've wasted their fans' time with the type of teams that they've put together, knowing that they need to get the right players around Leonard. You know what I mean? You just don't go get other superstars. You go get guys that are willing to go ahead and throw it all out there, just put it all out there, just like the Raptors did when he had those guys. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes, man. But I think the Clippers absolutely roll in this spot. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And I just want to show you the Lakers line. They're -120 tonight. They're the 7 o'clock game. They're +100 to the Suns tonight. So, a lot of people are going to probably chase the Suns simply because they do have the plus money value tonight, even though it's not big value on the plus money. Be ready for this to change up just a little bit. I think that the Suns wind up going off at probably +115 because Laker bettors look like they're going to go big here in the next few hours. And I think that one guy who likes the Suns, or that one guy who just wants to bet with the sports book, bet with the house, and pretty much try to sink all those Laker tickets tonight. We'll see how it goes. Lakers, I'm telling you, they got to step it up tonight. I feel they will step it up tonight. But, you always got to have a little bit of precaution with the Lakers because you never know. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. But with that, you guys go ahead and check out our proud people over at Fubo TV, the best subscription app that you can get if you are a sports fan. You get every college, every major Power 5 conference channel on this network. You get yourself all the ESPNs, including ESPN Knockout for all the boxing fans that are hardcore and love everything about boxing. That's where you go to, is to ESPN Knockout. Then you have NFL Network here as well too, MLB Network. There's a lot of good stuff going on. And man, Fubo TV, you guys can go ahead and get the 7 days free on me when you guys go ahead and get your thank you so much. Somebody, I was looking for something and somebody brought it back to me, so I had to thank them real quick. But with that, we will be back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and we'll be right back at you.
Come on. Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the stretch drive of the show, and I know that a lot of people who tune in can't wait for this portion of the show, and what's that? That's Talkin Tickets. So let's go ahead and talk them tickets. All right, so we have ourselves the primetime PK6, 41-1. Yanks -1.5. We will see how this one goes. I do like them to win this game by 2 or more runs. We have the Braves today at -110. I think that they're going to be able to win their game today as well too. So I like them a lot, and we'll see how it goes. And then we have the Reds and the Nats. I feel like this one will go over 7.5 today. I think that the Nats should bring the bats out because for right now, we just don't trust the Reds, man. Reds over here losing 19-4 and stuff. I don't know about all that. So I got to take the Nats today. Hopefully they can go ahead and do some things, but I really do truly feel like the over 7.5 can hit in this game. Then we have the +1.5 on the Royals. Don't be shy about getting the +180 on them as well too. And for my bettors that always kind of want to have a thrill, seeking a thrill or something, why don't you bet the alternate run line of -1.5 tonight and see how that works out for you? All right, so +1.5 on the Royals, and then we have the over 9.5 with the Orioles and the Twins. As I said before, I expect Jose Barrios to have a pretty good game today, but I do expect the Twins to be hitting the ball today as well too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And then we end our list with the Giants -165, and Gaussman we trust. And hopefully they can go ahead and roll the Diamondbacks today. Now we have the NBA Playoff PK3 +9 on the Celtics. Then we also have the over 210 Lakers Suns. And then we also have the -7 with the Mavs. This is going to be a 6-1 ticket. So this ticket is a little bit more hittable, in my opinion, but the odds aren't the way I like them. But the thing is, though, if you put $100 down, you get $600 back. So just always remember, if you do this bet, it's a 6 times over. So if you put 50 on it, you get back 300. So nobody wants to sneeze at $300 on a pick 3. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So there it is. That's going to be our Talking Ticket segment today. And hopefully you guys go ahead and circle these up on the singles if you really like them a lot. And then, play the parlay for the rewards. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Let's go ahead and cash some tickets. All right. So we have the You Wager where the world bet's at. And you guys can use my promo code VXXPOP, which is going to be an offer for you guys to go ahead and get a 50% match deposit, which will result in, say, you guys putting up a $300 deposit. You guys will come back and get a $150 free play from you wager to start your sports betting journey. So go ahead and use that promo code VSXPOP. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It's always a pleasure speaking to you guys as well. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we can go ahead and confirm Mike Abadir being with us tomorrow, talking some NFL, talking some MLB, and talking some NBA with us as well too. And maybe we'll get into a little bit of boxing because the boxing world is on fire right now. So with that, I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in. As I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and this is the Premier Sports Betting Show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production